These peanut butter Rice Krispie treats are the same classic and super delicious treats you had as a kid, but with a new chocolatey twist. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Okay, let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. First thing you need is Rice Krispie cereal. Now, this is a generic brand. I couldn't find Rice Krispie brand Rice Krispies, but these work just the same. Marshmallows, semi-sweet chocolate chips, butter, peanut butter, avocado oil. And the two pieces of cooking hardware that you're gonna need today are a large pot and a baking dish. And you also need a heat-resistant bowl. All right, guys, so first thing I wanna say here is that you might be thinking, this is not a healthy recipe, and you're right. This is not a technically healthy recipe. I really haven't changed it to make it healthier this time. This is just a special treat because we've been making so much great healthy food together that I thought I would throw one in that's a little less healthy, but also super delicious. So the first thing we're gonna do is grease our baking sheet. In my recipe on the site, I call for a 9x13 baking dish. That's actually a different one than I have. This one technically is more like almost 10 inches by 14 inches. What's gonna happen is with a bigger baking dish, the Rice Krispies are gonna sit a little bit lower, but since we're not really baking here, it doesn't really matter. Cool, now we're just gonna set this aside. Next thing we're gonna do is add a 1/4 cup of butter. And just so you guys know, a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. And the reason why I know that is because Alexa just told me.
What is the best time of the year to go skydiving?
I don't know when.
Geronimo!
Oh, fall. I think I ruined the joke. I don't know why she's just throwing jokes out, but she is. Oh, you know what? Have you guys ever done this? Alexa, knock knock.
Knock knock. Who's there? A cat. A cat who? A cat trying to knock over your drink. Watch out!
That was kind of lame. I thought she could do better. I think the one on the knock knock jokes on Siri is actually better. Okay guys, so I'm melting butter. Keep the heat as low as you possibly can. That is one note. We definitely don't want to burn the butter. Nice and super low. Just move the butter around until it is completely melted. And actually, we don't even have to wait for this butter to melt. We're gonna add the marshmallows right away. So 1 10-ounce bag. I like the little mini marshmallows because they melt fast. So add those marshmallows in. Gotta get them all. And then just give them a nice slow mix. We wanna get everything nice and melted and very gooey. I think the best part about a Rice Krispie treat is when they are a little gooey. I ate a lot of Rice Krispie treats as a kid, and for some reason I never thought about them with chocolate and even with peanut butter, as in this recipe. But I'll tell you, the chocolate and peanut butter make them even better than you remember them as a kid. Okay, again, very low heat. I can't say that enough. Do not turn the heat too high. Do not rush this process. I think the only tricky thing about this recipe is that you really should take your time, and we're definitely gonna see that when it comes time to melting the chocolate. All right guys, so this is what the marshmallows and butter should look like when they are perfectly melted. Look at how delicious that looks. Next thing we're gonna do is add our peanut butter. I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I used smooth peanut butter. You could maybe use chunky peanut butter if you want to. I don't see why that wouldn't be good. I like smooth though. Let me know in the comments below, do you guys like smooth peanut butter or chunky peanut butter? Or do you not like peanut butter at all? I'm actually very surprised at how many people don't like peanut butter at all. Shocks me. I love peanut butter. All right, so just mix in the peanut butter with the marshmallow and butter. Oh, look at this color. Look at this color. Check that out. Oh, it looks like almost like caramel. Oh, I love when you're cooking something and the color changes right before your eyes. There's something really awesome about that. Next thing we're gonna do is add our Rice Krispies. We're gonna add 5 cups. I've found that 5 cups of Rice Krispie cereal is a good ratio to this marshmallow and peanut butter that we already put in. But if you want them gooier, just add a little bit less Rice Krispie cereal. All right, so now we are just gonna give this a nice and easy mix because we don't wanna throw Rice Krispie cereal all over our counter. We just wanna get everything really well combined. We wanna try to get as much of the butter and marshmallow mixture and peanut butter mixture all over this Rice Krispie cereal. Okay, all right, this is coming together really nicely. Look how gooey and delicious this is looking. And it's having a nice kind of sticky texture to it. It's like sticking together, and that's exactly what we want. And if you guys have kids, this is actually a really good recipe to make with kids just because it's really a lot of instant gratification. You don't have to put it in the oven and bake for any amount of time at all. But of course, always when you're cooking with kids, be really careful that they are not too close to the pot because it's obviously very hot. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the pot with the Rice Krispie mixture off of the heat, and we're now gonna spread it into this baking dish. So I just flop it in there. Just throw it right in the middle. You don't have to be too careful with it. You know, one note here is that you don't wanna let this Rice Krispie mixture sit in this pot too long and let it cool. That would be actually very bad because then it would be almost impossible to manipulate like we're gonna need to in a second here. So you wanna make sure you're working with it while it's still warm. And now all we're gonna do is just take our spatula and compact it down and just spread it to all the corners of the baking dish. You can also take the spatula and just kind of like push and slide. And that will create a nice level surface, which is gonna be important in a little bit. And you know, if you guys think about the reason why we grease this baking dish before we started to do anything with it is because you can imagine how sticky this Rice Krispie mixture is, and you really need a coating on the dish so that it doesn't stick to the actual dish. So it's gonna make getting these Rice Krispie treats out of here a lot easier. All right guys, with the Rice Krispie mixture set aside, next we're gonna move on to melting the chocolate. And as you guys know, I'm not the biggest and most prolific baker, so I'm still new to the process of melting chocolate, but here is what I did last time and this worked out perfectly. I've got my pot here and I've filled it about 3 or 4 inches high of water, and I also have my heat resistant bowl. I've brought the water to a boil. Now, this is a very light boil. I've kept the heat as low as possible while still generating a boil, so that's really important. Do not do super high heat. It's not gonna help you. Then we take the bowl and set it inside the pot, and this is the reason why we need a heat resistant bowl. You don't want this glass breaking from the heat. So what we've got here is a lot of heat and condensation generated from underneath the bowl, which is going to really slowly melt the chocolate. Okay, so I'm taking my 1 cup of chocolate chips, putting them right in here. Now, very important, you wanna keep stirring. Do not stop stirring or else this chocolate is gonna burn. You also might wanna get a mitt because this bowl might slide around a little bit. And right when you see that the chocolate is starting to melt, which you guys can kind of see here, Aman, will you get a shot of this? You can see it's already starting to melt right here at the bottom. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of vegetable oil, and in this case, it's gonna be avocado oil. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons, and this is going to aid in getting that chocolate to melt really nicely. Just nice and slowly. Everything's looking really good so far. It's not burning. We wanna keep stirring until all the chocolate is super melted and really kind of liquidy. Now, apparently there's a way to melt chocolate in the microwave, but I don't know. That seems crazy to me. This seems like a far superior process because you're just melting the chocolate really slowly and you have a lot of control. But if you guys have melted chocolate in the microwave successfully, will you please let me know how you did it in the comments below? I'm super interested to know how. All right guys, this chocolate is looking perfectly melted, really creamy and beautiful looking. Aman, come get a shot of this. Look at how beautiful this chocolate is. There's still 1 or 2 little chunks that we're gonna let melt, but that looks great. All right guys, next step, once the chocolate is completely melted, is to start to pour it all over these Rice Krispie treats, kind of wherever, just like we did the Rice Krispie mixture. It doesn't have to be perfect to start. We're gonna smooth it with our spatula next. Like I said before, this recipe definitely isn't on the healthier end. If you guys are interested in a little bit less healthy recipes from me at certain times, please let me know in the comments below, because I've been keeping it pretty healthy so far. But I'm also happy to switch it up if you guys wanna see less healthy stuff too. Okay, now with the chocolate sitting on top of everything, we're just gonna give it a nice push around. We wanna make this chocolate as evenly coated across the top of these Rice Krispies as possible. I feel like I maybe didn't melt enough chocolate this time, but it does kind of depend on how thick of a chocolate layer you're really looking for. I kind of like a little bit of a thinner layer, a little more subtle, not so chocolatey. So actually this is looking pretty good. All right guys, so that's it for now. We're gonna take this baking dish and set it in a corner away from direct sunlight for anywhere between 30 minutes to 1 hour. What we're looking for is this chocolate needs to harden up. All right, guys, these peanut butter Rice Krispie treats are all finished. The chocolate has hardened up really nicely. I cannot wait to give these a try, but before I do, if you love this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my dessert recipes playlist. Okay, let's give these a try. I feel like a kid again. These peanut butter Rice Krispie treats are so good, guys. You really, really have to make them. Make them for your kids or just make them for yourself. They're absolutely delicious. I'll see you in the next video.